Alright everyone, welcome back to TI8 China Qualifier group stages. We are here in the very last round. It's FTD versus LFY, and we have a pretty interesting tiebreaker situation ahead of us. So here's the deal. FTD currently 5-1. If they win this game, then they are top of the group, uncontested, number one. If they lose, they're still through to the playoffs, but they could be in a much worse position in terms of the seeding. Meanwhile, LFY, they are currently 4-2. Keen Gaming are 4-3, currently just outside of the top four. If LFY lose this game, then they're going to end up tying with Keen. If they win this game, then they actually end up securing themselves the number 2 spot in the group. So not only do they secure themselves a spot in the playoffs, but they're also securing themselves one of those top 2 spots, which is pretty sweet. So definitely an important match from that perspective. The other game going on right now is IG versus Youngdom. Unfortunately, no matter the outcome of that, Youngdom is eliminated. But if IG lose that game, then they could actually be the ones who end up tying with Keen and then have to play a best of 1 for that final spot in the playoffs. So in summary, best case scenario is we have, well, best case scenario from a matches played perspective is that LFY and IG both win, and then we have no tiebreakers. Come on guys, don't chat with me here. But so best case scenario is that we have no tiebreakers. The likely scenario, I think, is that we're going to have one of those two teams tie with Keen, and then they'll have to play a best of 1 to break that tie. Worst case scenario is that we have a 3-way tie. So LFY and IG both lose. They both tie with Keen. And then we would have to play multiple rounds of matches to break that 3-way tie. But anyway, the important thing here is that both of these teams really want to win. FTD really want to win for that number 1 spot in the group. They would end 6-1, which is completely unassailable. Even if they lose this, I think if they lose this, they end up like 3rd. Because they have the head-to-head win against Serenity.
5 seconds
LFY
remaining.
Lost to Serenity, so I think if LFY win, it would be like Serenity number 1, then LFY, then FTD. Anywho, let's see what we got in terms of the draft. We've got For the Dream banning out the Bristleback, interestingly enough. We've seen some first phase Bristle bans in the China Qualifier, which to me makes absolutely 0 sense. I don't think that hero is nearly strong enough to be banning like this, but it seems like teams are a little bit worried about it. Wisp makes sense to me. Lycan getting removed. FTD don't want to play it against anything too pushy, too cheesy. I love that they first phase Mirana after what just happened to them in the last game. Maybe that's how they're thinking about that previous game. Like, oh, Mirana's just too OP. We shouldn't have let them have it. LFY, their answer is going to be ET Bane, so they're keeping all of their core positions open in the beginning of the game here. The one slight problem, I suppose, for FTD is that they can't run the Mirana offlane since the Beastmaster is going to be taking that spot, so I suppose it has to be Mirana position 1 or it's going to be Mirana mid, and there is precious little setup, or a precious little easy setup for arrows. Bane and Elder Titan both taken, Naga banned, Clockwork also banned. It's not going to be, there's not going to be so many guaranteed arrow setups this game. There's still some heroes that they could pick here and there. You know, we could see a Rubik this game or a Lion or something like that to potentially set up, but not those easy 1-2 punch combos that you sometimes see. But Skywrath Mage makes it all the way through into the 2nd round, so Beastmaster, Skywrath, dual lane coming up. I think the Bane plus whatever the other hero for LFY is going to end up being in the safe lane should be able to hold that off at least a little bit, but we've also seen this dual lane just completely wreck face, so we'll see if LFY are able to
10 seconds remaining.
Fire back at that. Mid matchup still going to be interesting. Last pick is going
remaining.
to FTD, so probably going to leave that until last. More than likely just going to be seeing their position 5 hero as the next grab. I don't know what exactly that's going to end up being. Something with a little bit of... they have some initiation. A little bit more lockdown wouldn't go amiss. This is actually a game where they could pick a melee position 5, so something along the lines of the Ogre or like a Spirit Breaker to be able to get into the back lines. They can exploit the Hawk vision a little bit. The setup is maybe not so easy to use for the Skywrath Mage, but Given that they've got a ranged 4, I feel like they can get away with one of those melee pos 5 heroes. So it could be something to look at. I don't know what carry or mid you necessarily want to be playing against this FT lineup. Could see something like a Chaos Knight working out pretty well. Something that has a little bit of built-in catch and does decent physical damage. What else? Do they... See, I feel like the Slark is a bait here. Slark is certainly a decent hero against Mirana because of how the Pounce interacts with Leap, but I think if they pick Slark, he's just going to get run over in lane. I don't think Bane is strong enough to salvage the Slark's lane all by himself. I think they need to pick something that's a little bit stronger in lane than that, and LFY really taking their time on this pick. I'm just going to come back with Leshrac. Okay, so it's core Lesh for sure, unless it's a core Elder Titan, which I somehow doubt. There's some setup from the Bane. The synergy is definitely there with the ET aura. I worry about him looking a little bit squishy this game. The burst damage
10
that
seconds
FTD
remaining.
can put out is pretty crazy, so
5 seconds
that's certainly
remaining.
something to be afraid of. But it is a good laning hero, and they have some flexibility, at least in terms of what they're going to do matchup-wise. This does seem to me as though LFY don't know exactly what they want to do here, though. They're like, okay, we picked some strong laning supports. Now let's pick a core that we can put in any lane because we don't actually know what laning matchups we want. Like, if you look at FTD, they know that they want the Beastmaster with the Skywrath Mage. They want that up against pretty much anybody. There aren't really any dual lanes that those two are really all that afraid of.
LFY's turn to pick.
Ooh, alright. FTD. It is going to be a melee support. It's not the melee support that I was expecting, but the Nyx Assassin certainly looks really, really good against this Leshrac, and it's a guaranteed core Leshrac, so they can't dodge it to another position. I mean, unless they run the ET core, but I don't know if I want to see that this game.
10 seconds remaining.
That's a really nice Nyx Assassin pickup. I feel like LFY are just being
Radiant
punished for
team
not
back.
thinking far enough ahead of the draft, and this is another pick where it's like it's just kind of a whatever hero. It's like oh, we don't know exactly what our draft is designed to do here, so let's
LFY's
just
turn to
pick
ban.
Dragon Knight, and it's something that we don't have to worry too much about, and hopefully he'll do okay in lane. But FTD do have that last pick, so they can grab themselves a really nice mid matchup, either against the Dragon Knight or just for the game in general. Could see something like SF getting banned here. Maybe if they're just thinking about that previous game that they were watching of FTD versus CDEC.
5 seconds remaining.
What else have we seen Love You Love Me play? We've seen him play Templar Assassin. He's played a pretty mean TA, actually. Yeah, okay, well, there you go. So TA gonna get banned. But, see, if I'm piecing all of this together, I feel like LFY are not prepared enough for this draft. I don't know what hero would pull everything together. We do get that Slark ban from FTD. What are they going to go for? Are they just going to pick like a Lifestealer?
10 seconds remaining.
Doesn't feel great, but I think that's kind of the generic
5 seconds
safety
remaining.
pick here for them. They've only got 15 seconds of reserve time remaining. Now, what else could they go for?
Radiant team pick.
Alright, we're just going to pick Brewmaster. I don't mind the Brew. There is a lot of lockdown to play against here, though. And if any one of these, if a Silence or a Stun clips you at all, I think you just get instantly bursted down. Maybe the Bane can play a sick game, and he can be the one to save people from arrows and prevent chain stuns and make sure that spells go off, but right now I'm really liking
10
the
seconds
FTD
remaining.
lineup. So I suppose in that case, the lanes are Lesh safe, Dragon Knight mid, and
You may now
Brewmaster
select
heading
your
to the
heroes.
off lane. And yeah, FTD just going to pick that Shadow Fiend. Feeling a little bit inspired after ASD in the previous game. The burst damage is certainly good. He doesn't really get pressured much by the DK. So let's get into it. And so who's playing? Who's playing what? So it's Raji, the position 5 player on the Nyx. James is going to be on the Skywrath Mage. Again, I think his roaming play has been really, really good this tournament. So looking forward to seeing what he does on the Sky. And okay, Monet Lesh. So what? Position 1 Lesh. Yeah, super. Big super is heading towards mid. I don't know if they can they spare the Bane or something to go and help mid lane? Actually, I don't think they can. I don't think they can afford to go and give any resources to mid lane at all. They just have to let Super do the best that he can and focus on these side lanes with Afu and Yao. Got a quick pause at the start. So I would imagine in the other series that IG will probably beat Young Dumb, if I had to guess, but who knows? Young Dumb have had some nice drafts and have won some decent games. Though I think the only teams that they've beaten are the teams that are currently below them in the group. Is that accurate? Did they just beat? Yeah, they beat CDC and IGV. So CDC lost to everybody. IGV beat. What was the other team that they beat? They beat LFY. They beat LFY and CDC and lost to everybody else. I really thought IGV were looking okay, but they just had some real shocking drafts. Like they had whatever game they last picked Invoker in, they had no business in that game. I think they picked like Razor Invoker, and it was not a good Razor game, and it was not a good Invoker game, and they just got completely rolled over. But yeah, it's really funny that IG, with the 4-1, Liquipedia had them marked in green as if they'd already qualified, already made it through to the next round. But here they are on the brink of elimination. They have to win this game to avoid tiebreakers. Still paused. Let's check out some effigies, why don't we? Is that a Windrunner plus 25? Alright, we're good to go. Nice, I don't have to vamp too much. Always interesting to see what people do with the Skywrath Mage for their starting items. Some people don't get the tangos, finish the whole null, but everybody seems to get most of a null, a mango, and a clarity. Love You Love Me. Pretty standard stuff. Oh, alright, more lag apparently. It's a little bit worrying. So I don't think this Bane Leshrac lane is going to win against the Beastmaster Sky. Oh, they both have good harassment, but I don't know. Is the kill potential actually better on the LFY side? Maybe if I think if the Skywrath Mage tries to man up against the Bane, then he just gets nightmared and probably dies. It's mostly about how strong Brain Sap actually is. Like, is Brain Sap enough to help Bane sustain through all the arcane bolts and all the axes and have them come out on the other side? And then bottom lane is Brewmaster ET versus Nyx Mirana. That'll be pretty interesting. The Mirana doesn't hit very hard early on, so I think the Inflame and Afu can actually get up in her face pretty hard. And not really that much that the Nyx can do. I mean, he's also bought a stat shield. Dual lane meta getting to a pretty extreme degree beyond. Needs to be a little bit careful. Threatening the stun. Yeah, there's no chance that Yas kills Nightmare at level 1, unfortunately. No way that they get that kill. And they're actually swapping it. Alright, they scout the lanes, and it looks like they've decided that they want to have the Sky Beastmaster against the double melee lane, and they prefer to have the Nyx Assassin Mirana up against this Bane Lesh. Alright, we'll see how that goes. Doesn't seem to be any adjustment happening from LFY just yet. Games, we're gonna try for this. Bit of harassment coming in. Inflame already gonna munch on that tango. And alright. It is going to be, what, a triple bounty rune start for LFY, so that's nice for them. Who's going to get the better block at mid? Let's have a look. Lovey's doing a really good job with this block, actually. Look at this. Some open AI stuff right here. Oh, but did he actually win it? Super also doing really well. Might have just been even overall. Oh, they both did so well in those last couple of seconds. The furious blocking after the tower, but alright, Love Me manages to drag it just a little bit better over on his side. It's pretty easy for DK early on here. He's got the Quelling Blade and 55 base damage versus the SF's 48, so expect the DK to do just fine in the first couple of waves, and then once the once the raises start coming out, he starts to lose it a little bit. I really want to see how this top lane goes. Is the Mirana going to be able to farm well? Lesh also has pretty crappy base damage. So this could actually be the one situation where the Mirana's able to get quite a bit, but steps up and gets completely slapped down for it. Love Me. Force, yes. That is more than I was expecting for this first wave. For these first couple of waves. And he's going to get the immediate D1 at mid. Eat that? Yeah. Oh, big trouble for Raji, and he's going to be brought down. Level 2 on the Bane and the Leshrac. And down he goes. Alright, Bane is such a good laning hero. Oh my god. I don't even know why we haven't seen that much Bane in this China qualifier. Maybe it's just been the games that I've been casting, but
you have no right.
Not been very popular. James just running a little pull, but unable to get the pull through, so this lane is going to push pretty heavily. Not sure what they're really going to be able to do. Oh, do manage to cancel his clarity pretty quickly. Doing his best with the harassment, but not really amounting to too much. And Nyx Assassin, not the best laning support. I think this is a really good Nyx Assassin game, but Nyx is just not really super strong in these dual lanes, unfortunately. And that really seems to be where the meta is at the moment. Love Me is still doing well. I've seen a lot of people setting up last hits for other people in this qualifier. It's a little bit weird, but a little bit of harassment from Mirana, but needs to be careful. This is an Arcane Rune Lesh. It's only got the 1 point in the lightning, but still going to be very annoying to deal with. Why do I keep looking at mid? Nothing's going to happen in that lane. Afu, 54 plus 54. He's got some damage.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Yeah, laning phase not very dynamic at the moment. Level 1 Nyx Assassin going toe-to-toe with a level 3 Bane. Absolutely nothing that he can do in this situation. And the Brewmaster appears to be farming just fine. Very close with the Beastmaster. They're both doing alright. Afu, still plenty of regen. James, a little bit of mana left in the tank. But overall, it does seem to me that the Radiant are actually doing a little bit better overall. Mirana getting a bunch of CS, while the Lesh not really finding too much. Yeah, it does manage to run a pull and get the lane back into some slightly safer territory. I thought after that first kill that they were going to be in a better stead, but no, Mirana seems to be farming just fine up here. And I still like I think I like the FTD lineup a bit better overall. Just kind of like the lockdown, and as much as I'm a fan of Brewmaster, I think this might end up being quite a difficult Brewmaster game to actually play in. Ooh, come on, Super, that's some nonsense. Finds himself a regen rune. Raji a little bit short on the stun there to be able to do anything about it. Whoop, Inflame, in big trouble, is getting chased down by this Arcane Bolt. Looks like that's going to finish him off, even with the 1-stick charge. Won't save his life. Afu is paid a pretty hefty price at bottom lane, losing the Brewmaster. Can he find this rotation successfully at mid? Love Me has a Mango to get one more raise dished out, but I don't think it's going to be enough for 2. Pops the Mango, jumps forward, doesn't get clipped. Super with the Soul Ring, needs to be careful. Love Me actually just barely has enough for the second raise. Gets a totally free kill on Super. And that's them getting punished across 2 different lanes. At the very least, they will manage to grab this kill up top. Nice Nightmare into Raji. And the Mirana goes down. But that is a complete disaster, feeding that kill to SF for free. And Alpha isn't even able to stick around and grab experience. He just has to let the SF get a completely free lane for a little bit. Oh, and is this going to be 4 bounties for FTD? Oh, they're even able to exploit the bottle a little bit more. Oh no, James is getting refilled on the mana pool. Alright, this early game is going just a little bit better for FTD, which would mean that LFY are going to end up tying. So I'm personally, I guess I'm cheering for IG to beat Young Dumb, so it's just a 2-way tie and we just have the 1 game to play. They're coming at Love You Love Me once again. Can they do it this time around? Sleep into Stomp. He's gonna wake up, he's gonna turn around, gets Dragon Tail, concussive shot, slowing things down. They don't manage to get any kills for the Shadow Fiend, but can they still find some kind of a turnaround? Super's pretty tanky. Arcane Bolt's getting spammed, down he goes. James has a seal, won't be able to silence, and that's actually pretty big damage. Now they've got the Brain Sap, and looks like James might also end up dropping. They're gonna Nightmare him for a second. SF still dead, too high of a level, and Yao will finish that kill. Ends up being a 3 for 1 at mid. Alright. They messed up the first time round, and then they came back with greater numbers. Very nice. Monet. Chasing with this. Lightning into a stun would be big damage, but not enough to kill against the Raindrop and the wand charges. There you go. Brewmaster's just been farming bottom. That was pretty expensive. Oh man, that was so expensive to rotate the Beastmaster mid and then have him die. And now he has to walk all the way down to bottom again. Very tough. They're still a little bit ahead in terms of net worth, but yeah, that was a really nice rotation from the LFY supports. Yeah, we're even gonna come over here, trying to get some vision down over these camps. Did he get scouted? No, looks like he's managed to stay in fog pretty much the entire time. And now they see the Mirana. Nightmare. Get a little bit of damage, stun him up. Now the Stomp, no leap opportunity at all. These LFY support rotations have been so good. And we've got a Primal Split popped to bottom. Beastmaster's not really all that tanky. He's got a couple of wand charges. I don't know if that's going to be enough to save him, though. He's juking through the trees, but this Fire Panda is still chasing. He's only got a few seconds left. Can he finish the kill? Inflame will be able to do it. Does he get punished for this, though, is the question. No, he's not even going to get punished, and he's actually looking for more. Mirana only level 5, TPing down here. Does have the Starstone, needs to land both onto the Brewmaster to have any chance of killing him. Does get it, but there's still wand charges. Pop your stick, Inflame, gets the clap off, but looks like he might still get finished off. Nice silence on the Elder Titan to prevent him going for the save. And can they actually finish off Offley here? Looks like probably not.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And again up top, this ward on the high ground, absolutely perfect. Beyond. Also looking like he's going to get chased down. Nice stun from Monet. They're lacking a little bit of mana, but already have some Arcane Boots. And there you go. LFY now up 9 kills to 4. Still not translating into too much of a net worth lead, but most of that gold on the Radiant side is being carried by the Shadow Fiend right now, and he's just buying a drum. Not bad, but you know, not an insanely impactful item either. I don't even know what build I want him to go for this game. I guess they've got the Beastmaster, so I kind of want him to go back to that. So maybe we'll just see drum SNY, BKB kind of deal. Nothing too flashy. Mirana's still just trying to finish up some treads. Beastmaster completely relegated to the offlane here, but getting close to his level 6, so some rotation potential there. But Yao just keeps on making the same move. He can't keep getting away with it. This ward has gotten him 2 kills already, and he sees Beyond running forward. Ooh. All right, Beyond looks like he might know what's going on this time around. Oh, he sees Bane actually. A little bit of mispositioning there from Yao. Okay. But they can't bait or anything, unfortunately. Panda split, back up in 8 seconds time, so that should be another kill for Inflame once he grabs that. Has just grabbed some treads so far, tanking up quite a bit. And Raji finally coming in here for the D ward, realizing what's going on. He's almost got his level 6 as well. Once these ultimates come online for FTD, I think their ability to start making plays and fighting back really ramps up dramatically. But for now, they're not having the easiest time. Yeah, what are you up to here? Mana burn. Stun at the ready. Is he gonna get the stun on the Yao? Nope. Love You Love Me even TPing in for this. Ooh, that was a Pretty costly miss. Unfortunately, the Beastmaster didn't have level 6. I think otherwise you just wake up Beastmaster and have him roar like an angry bear and then get that kill. Ooh, nice raises! Yao just gonna get exploded! Love You Love Me even grabs the bounty rune. This is not a good time to come stepping at the Shadow Fiend.
Shadows.
Down he goes. And they're gonna pop the Moonlight Shadow as well, and that is a Primal Split being used for no kill whatsoever. Why is it always that the first Moonlight Shadow just... Oh my god, and the Moonlight Shadow is gonna go get them a kill on Monet, who is very greedily farming. Alright, the turnaround has happened, and the turnaround is happening fast. Arrow onto Super, but there is going to be some turnaround. If you love me, can they actually get this kill? They've got quite a lot of burst. Looks like Shadow Fiend should go down. The Death Requiem's going to do good damage, though. Afu tanking a lot of it. They do get the grip out onto the Mirana, but that gets cancelled instantly by Raji. And that's going to be all 3 of these dire heroes on the mid lane dead. Very reminiscent of what happened earlier, but FTD just bring in everyone. All 5 heroes turn up, and they get some great kills. And bring the kill score pretty much right back in line. And now we just have to wait for Lesh to farm. He's not really going to be doing too much more for the next few minutes. The Panda not very close to his blink. Dragon Knight responding is going to be going for a blink of his own to, I guess, try and keep the tempo going for his team. But I think these next few minutes do really belong to FTD. Man, isn't the Dragon Lance important on Mirana so you can use the leap and still get your auto attacks off? Because it's only a 2.5 second duration, so maybe that's the idea. Like, if you're attacking somebody and then you're leaping for the attack speed, then you probably need the... Oop, Dusk gets popped. Raji in some trouble. Does have that spiked Carapace. Can he outrun the sleep? Nope. Won't be able to outrun those stuns either. Poor guy gets brought down. Is that a scan? It may have... Maybe this game. They knew that he was level 6 either way. And then the smoke heading towards mid. They're gonna need all of the Shadow Fiend's damage for this. Actually, no, they've got the Mystic Flare, so maybe they don't need all of the SF damage. They got the Skyrack damage. And Love You Love Me will grab yet another kill. He's actually just straight up rushing BKB this game. So FTD definitely aiming for a super early timing. Yeah, maybe I'm wrong about this Dragon Lance on the run. It could also be that he's just copying the build from the previous game. Hey, Shadow Fiend's down here. Monet dropping low. Arrow's gonna clip him, and down he goes. Yao also on the run, gonna get caught by the concussive shot. And looks like no real opportunity for him to escape. Who'll grab this kill? It will be the Mirana at the end of the day.
Another put down.
And FTD still making these crisp, clean rotations. No tier 1 towers going down just yet, but that's gonna be the next big thing on the agenda for both of these 2 teams. So Brewmaster not having very much fun against the Mana Burn. God, this is a good mix game. It looks like he's dead as I say that. Got a commentator curse once in a while. Make sure that it still works.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Alright. We're in nighttime for another 2.5 minutes. The team's just kind of sitting back on their side of the map. I really do not like this Perseverance one bit on Monet. I'd much prefer to see him with Point Booster, VIP Booster. He's just so squishy. It does help him farm marginally faster, but it's just such a greedy build. And I don't even know if the Ring of Health is really doing that much for him. Like, at least, maybe he bought it in the lane, but... I think the Voidstone Point Booster or something would be just fine. Alright. They want to use another Primal Split. They want another kill. They've also got a Fiend's Grip ready to be used. 3 points of Nightmare from Yao. Not sure who he's trying to keep out of the fights, but probably just not feeling confident with his mana pool. Get the concussive shot out. If he can find a good spot to hide in the trees, he might be able to get the TP. Do they have any detection? They've got Dust and a Sentry. Alright, they will grab that kill without the use of the split. Nyx Assassin sitting here on top of Super. I don't know why he went for the auto attack. He wasn't Vendetta. It was just Moonlight Shadow, but they're going to line it up with the arrow. Roar also going to be used. They desperately want this super kill, but can they actually do it? The Stomp is going to save him. They're buying time, and now the Primal Split comes in. Axe is not going to do nearly enough damage against that Dragon's Bloods. They still want this on the Mirana. Oh no, he wasn't in range for the Starstorm. Oh no. He had 0 leap charges, I suppose. Oh man, is he dead now as well? He has a Fiend's Grip. They even need to use it? No, he's gonna wait for Monet to come over. And turns out going on the Dragon Knight without the Shadow Fiend ready for damage was a big mistake. Alright, well, we'll see what this SFBKB is going to be able to do. Still pretty even game. Tier 1 taken on both sides. Quite even on the net worth. Quite even on the experience. Primal Split's down for a little bit, so you would kind of hope that FTD could go and make a play, but a lot of their stuff is also on cooldown. And Mirana's still on the hole for a little bit. Do you take the courier? Oh, Lesh already has his Bloodstone. That is a very nice timing. And he's going to come running up here into the sentry. They're looking for the Lesh. Can they actually focus him down? Leap forward. That's it for the leap. He just has to go for the arrow. Is he going to connect it? No, Monet's a little bit too fast. And Inflame with the Blink Clap also able to open up some space, but he may have paid for this with his life. He's juking and jiving through the trees. The lockdown is still a little bit away, but they can just keep on right-clicking him. And beyond, I don't even know if he needs to use the roll to kill. Inflame's going to leave him on a merry chase. And Love You, Love Me will be the one to finish the kill. So he's got his BKB now completed. Pretty good teamfight potential for them there. Super decides against the Blink Dagger at the end of the day. We'll just be going for a BKB of his own. So all this damage is going to have to be coming from the Lesh. If they can burst the Lesh in the fights, then happy days. If the Lesh survives and starts building up some Bloodstone charges and survivability items, that's where things could get scary for FTD. And the pickoffs have still not really been working out the way that I think they were hoping.
Top tower is under attack.
I haven't seen a Primal Roar used in just a little bit.
Dire's middle tower
SF is going to be going for a Silver Ed. There's already a ton of Invis on the team, so I think the Shadow Blade is of dubious value, but the Break is certainly pretty useful this game against the Brewmaster and the Dragon Knight, so I guess that's why he's going for it. But let's see if this BKB for the Shadow Fiend signals any big push. It should at least mean that these tier 1 towers go down. I don't know if LFY can really contest the BKB SF. And they did just use the Dragon form not long ago to push top tower. So LFY are slightly weakened, and yeah, you can see it in the way that Love You Love Me is positioning himself. He knows that there really isn't any way to kill him. Unless he tanks a full Fiend's Grip, which really should not happen. Ooh, arrow attempted on Yao, but he will be able to sidestep it. This Observer Ward not long for this world. Oh, Roar on the back lines. Who have they found? It is going to be the Elder Titan. Burst him down. Now look towards the tier 1 tower. Yao going to get stunned up. I don't know why LFY didn't just leave this tower for dead. There's no way that they're going to be able to take this fight, and they just freed away 2 freebie kills on top of it. Has anyone on FTD bought an urn yet? Oh, Nyx is going for him. James already has a Rod of Atos. Oh my lord. I guess it is 18 minutes. He's got some farm. Raji in really big trouble. Down he goes. Brewmaster just working on a hood. Anything to survive to make sure that you get your ultimate off, even taking the 200 HP talent. Doesn't need to be the damage dealer for his team. If he's providing the control and they've got the Lesh doing his thing, then they should have more than enough damage. Super gonna use another ultimate for some farm here. Some Ancients, accelerating himself that little bit more. Oh, they're coming over here. I don't know if this Nyx Assassin TP was scouted by the Observer Ward. A really nice deep Observer from Team LFY. Tons of vision for the Radiant to play around. Ooh, I don't think they saw that smoke though. They have to be a little bit careful. The Shadow Fiend can't get to that fight. They might just run straight at the Shadow Fiend if you're LFY. You suspect that he's going to be somewhere around here in the jungle. Nyx Assassin sees Super farming. Sees that the Dragon form has been used. I think they're pinging this as if like, okay, we should probably do something. Punish the fact that Dragon form is on cooldown. Love You Love Me is not feeling confident to head down bottom just yet, but he's about to see... Oh no, he doesn't see anybody until this smoke breaks. But once the smoke breaks, he should know that he'll be able to go forward and finish this off. Doesn't want to risk it being denied, so... Alright, pokes his nose forward, finishes it off. He is far and away the most farmed hero in the game, so can completely understand why he's being so careful with the way that he's playing. If he dies at this stage, it's going to be a lot of gold for whoever claims that bounty. Mirana almost has the Maelstrom completed. Doing decently, but not necessarily the same level of performance that we saw out of the Mirana in the previous game. Though, again, some of that is just a lower amount of setup. They've popped the Primal Split here, but the Mirana's got plenty of leaps, and she's going to get out. And now they don't have the split for this actual fight. They do get the grip out onto the Beastmaster, but the Shadow Fiend should just be able to go to work. He's right-clicking down Afu to begin with. Continue the mega kill streak as now he bombs out the Requiem and looks towards Yao, just going to try and raise him down. One more will do it. Triple kill for Love You Love Me. They silence the Dragon Knight, so he can't even get a Dragon Tail off as he pops another ineffective ult. And now Beyond is even able to chase after Inflame. Give him a tip as well for catching that arrow, and FTD are going to take a 4-for-0 team fight, it looks like. The Lesh did die, but respawned courtesy of his Bloodstone. What was Inflame thinking? Popping ultimate on that Mirana like that. The triple leap was always going to get him away. They're coming over to try and contest the Roshan. FTD are a little bit low. I think this might be a bit of a dumb decision. We've seen some dumb Roshan plays today. I've only cast 2 games, and I think I've already seen, like, let's say 2 or 3 dumb Roshan calls. But alright, FTD make the right move. They back up, they go and get some mana, and now they're going to go for a smoke. Primal Split's still on cooldown. SF BKB back up in 3. This is as good an opportunity as they're going to get. And they know that the Dragon Form is also used, so I like the call to go and make a play. Beyond just ran all the way to the side shop to get a Blink Dagger, though. Maybe they'll still get something out of this smoke. They still got some vision over here. This ward is thwarting Yao. He can't quite seem to get rid of it. And it's going to give them all the information that they need to be able to take this fight. Raji running forward. They're just looking for any kind of a setup. Scouting arrow up under the high ground. They just need to find a catch. They can't afford to go into super. He's got BKB to pop. Alright, Raji realizes that he has been revealed, running past the sentry. And they are just going to call it quits. Primal Split's almost back up. Are they going to head for the Roche? It's still at about half HP. Oh no, they've caught the Skywrath Mage. They really need his damage for this fight. James, can you drop some spells? You won't be able to. They get the Roar onto the Bane. They burst him down. Love You Love Me gets separated from his team, though, because they're now kiting around a little bit. The Primal Split Pandas are just stuck in the trees. Monet cannot run in here on the Lesh. They really need his damage output. There is still going to be a Spiked Carapace for the Nyx Assassin as he comes in to try and help out. Shadow Fiend didn't pop the BKB before he went for that Requiem. Huge misplay from Love You Love Me. He's just going to get right-clicked down. They do get the Skywrath Mage back, and they manage to kill off the Brewmaster, kiting the Dragon Knight nicely. With BKB about to wear out, the Mirana needs to be the big damage source here, and I think she might just be able to do it. She's got the arrow cooling down soon. Monet with a 2-man stun, doing good work. Able to team back up. They miss completely on the arrow, and it looks like the Mirana won't be able to finish this fight for his team. Assassin's back, but they still just can't quite get through the tanky Dragon Knight, and Monet is going to town, refilling those Bloodstone charges, and it's going to be his turn to get the triple kill this time around. SF is going to feel like such a goob for not pushing his BKB.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Like, if he pushes his BKB, the ET instantly dies. Everybody else takes all the Requiem damage. He probably gets off at least 2 more raises.
Radiant's middle
Instead,
tower
they
is
just
under attack.
completely lose the fight. A couple of buybacks getting used, I think, as well. Sky bought back,
Radiant's
Nyx bought
middle
back.
tower has fallen.
Oh, that was really bad. They do have another opportunity. Roar's back off cooldown. They can, go and try and do something, but yeah, SF really needed to push that BKB button. Yeah, we'll finally find this ward. I'm gonna put 2 and 2 together. Trying to maintain map control around this area. And nobody's really been farming for the last little bit. Just a couple of team fights. We're still very close on the net worth and on the experience. No one really pushing the limit too hard. Raji gonna be going for a Force Staff. Skywrath Mage going for a Shadow Blade. Alright. Should certainly help with his positioning. I wonder if James has just decided that his goal in life for this game is that he just wants to kill Yao. He's gonna Shadow Blade, find an angle on the Bane, and then just drop his entire combo in his head and make sure that he dies. I think it's a pretty reasonable way to play for him. Also, given that the Beastmaster doesn't have a Shadow Blade, he can be the one to scout ahead of the Beastmaster, and then Beastmaster can blink in and roar, so they can find kills that way. SF, next item is going to be a Butterfly, so still very much just focusing on the right-click build. Decided against finishing the full Silver Edge, so I guess deciding that the passive break is not that worth it. at the end of the day. I don't know if I like the Shadow Blade if you're not going for the Silver Edge this game, though. I think you could have just gotten another right-click item. They've already got so much invis, there's always going to be sentries. I don't think the Shadow Blade is ever going to get you any free kills or save your life.
A tithe to the impurities.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Mirana, also not able to go for the full Mjolnir, is just going to be going for an MKB. Help deal with some of this mischance. We pop the Moonlight Shadow, but all of this is very easily being scattered out by the combination Observer wards, Sentry wards from LFY. So they won't really find an initiation. Beyond is thinking about it, but his team is just too far away to follow up on that jump. Super's coming in from the side. He does have a Blink Dagger. So some more initiation for the Dragon Knight. And some of that ancient farming that he did earlier is starting to show up on his levels now, as he almost has the 18. So he sacrificed a bit of mid-game strength using those ultimates the way that he did, but that is going to start paying itself back now that he gets that final point up in the Dragon form. Big 5-man smoke. Is this being realized by FTD? Do they know what's going on? Beeline being made over towards the Mirana up top. If she can leap into the trees, I think she should be able to get out, but if there's a Blink Dragon Tail, then she's just done. Yep, that'll be the end of Mirana. Huge 5-man rotation. FTD, they know that there's a DD down here. So we jam that on the Shadow Fiend and hopefully use that for the next fight, though LFY didn't really commit too much to grab those kills, and Monet is about to grab a BKB, so we're going to go from Lesh looking like he's not doing anything in these fights to Lesh absolutely shredding everybody. He's going to get the last point in Pulse Nova, he's going to get the BKB, and if he's able to fight with the Elder Titan effectively, FTD are really going to melt. Oh, love you, love me. Needs to pop the BKB just to escape. Not what they were hoping for. On the other side of the fight, they do manage to find the Lesh and burst him down, but he's only dead for 3 seconds. At least they put a bit of a dent in those Bloodstone charges, and yeah, I was looking for some kind of a catch, but the question is who's found who. Very long Nightmare. Well, they're going to get at least some of the Bloodstone charges back for Monet. Setting up for that kill.
Your desolation and the world's are one.
Interesting game. Oops. Button. Tier 2 tower did end up being taken out at bottom. No deny on that, so love you, love me. At least getting something out of the BKB charge, but still not a great feeling for him. The Mirana does just go for the Mjolnir and is now going to be going back for a BKB after that last gank. Maybe deciding that without the BKB he can't just stand and fight, so there's not much point in going for the MKB just yet. Ooh. Tempted arrow towards Super, another Moonlight Shadow. Lots of 5-on-5 stare downs on the mid lane this game. People looking for the slightly better initiation. I don't know if it's worth it going without their Skywrath Mage, but he is up soon. They're going to go push out bottom. Primal split ready, they're going to jump into the river. They do spot the Nyx Assassin, gets the spiked Carapace off. Can he at least use a stun? No, he gets Dragon-tailed up. Super, they would like to find a bit more out of this dragon form, but what's the plan? Are they going to go for this mid tower, or are they heading towards Roche? Can they make up their minds? Alright, they push mid out a little bit, but it looks like Inflame would like to go for the Roshan Beastmaster, and the Mirana, though, are going to threaten the bottom tier 3 tower. And is there a glyph available for the Dire? There is not. It's still on cooldown for a little bit. I think they might actually get forced out of this rush. Alpha's going to go back and defend. Elder Titan at least really good for that. This is where you lob a random arrow in that direction. Yeah, alright. Doesn't find him. But they're at least forced outside of the pit. So they don't really get that much out of the Nyx Assassin pickoff. Good positioning from FTD. You saw Mirana, like, as the Skywrath... They popped the Moonlight Shadow mid, and Skywrath was respawning, and Mirana clearly decided, okay, this isn't actually a fight that we're taking. He ran all the way down bottom, and then he started the push. But that decision-making, you know, 15, 20 seconds in advance is what makes them go completely unpunished for Nyx Assassin dying. And he even gets... Look at all this damage that they did to the tier 3 tower. Oh, lordy. Alright, SF is going to be going back for the Silver Edge now after he's completed up his Butterfly. They're making really fast work at the Roshan. The presence of the Dark Lord is going to work. LFY, if they want to contest this, they got to come in here now, and the Spirit is taking a little while to get over here. Love you, love me. Alright, he's got the Aegis. They jump in, but there's an immediate silence out of the Brewmaster, and they blow him up. The precast from James is perfect, and now Monet is on the run, but he just gets right-clicked down. The Fiend's Grip from Yao isn't going to do anything, and it looks like FTD taking those strides here in this fight. Nothing that Super can do. Afu with a 4-man stomp. Can he even get off the Earth Splitter? James sidesteps it, knows that Super is the bigger target. He's going to try for a TP out, almost getting bursted down, but will just barely survive. But FTD should be a very easy tier 2 tower here, and if they push it in, they can even just go for bottom. This tier 3 is already pretty low. Just got to get that backdoor protection disabled. There is quite a lot of high ground spam. Monet's already back and ready to fight. Okay, so, alright, not going to be able to go for the high ground as a result. And they will instead just set their sights on some more tier 2s. Love You Love Me picks up a random, well, not even just a random Morbid Mass. Wait, what else did he buy? Oh, he's going for Satanic. Oh wait, did he spend any more money? What just happened? I could have sworn he had a little bit more gold, but never mind. We've got an initiation on the Dragon. They try and burst him down. Shadowfiend going to lose his first life very quickly. He does have the 6-second BKB waiting. Yao does not have a Fiend's Grip. Can he get the BKB off? He does, but he still gets dragged back into the Earth Splitter, and he's just taking so much damage with that ET Aura. FTD way too split up. Shadowfiend too busy thinking about what items he was going to buy, and LFY will punish hard. I just don't think you can try and go on the Dragon Knight. Anybody else is fine. Blow up the Brewmaster. Blow up the Leshrac. Just don't try and go on DK. It just doesn't seem to be working for them. Well, there's still 10k up, so FTD have built a pretty significant advantage, but all of that is resting on the Shadowfiend's shoulders right now. And Mirana almost has her BKB, so she's going to be able to commit pretty hard to these fights soon. And also going to have the Mana Break talent before too long. LFY, Edict along with the Elder Dragon form, making quick work of the tier 2. And up next, what do they have? They're just going to go grab some farm. Don't want to try and do anything too risky. Don't want to go high ground. There's still tier 2s in both of the other lanes. Neon, does he see any of this? Alright, he sees Afu coming up, so able to take his leave. And there you go. Mirana BKB completed at last. What other items do we have coming up? This Skywrath Mage Aghanim Scepter could actually be a pretty big deal. It's a lot of damage output. Raji, I really thought that this was going to be an amazing Nyx Assassin game, but it has turned out to be a pretty tough one, in all honesty. The Sentry Wards from LFY have been completely relentless. Monet just going to be going for Lincolns, help deal with that lockdown a little bit, but his late game is always going to be a bit scary against the Nyx mana burn. So we'll see how he goes. He's still got an 8-second BKB, so doesn't have to worry about it for a little while. Inflame just going to be going for an Aeon Disc after what happened in that last fight. Does not want to get blown up in the same way.
Dire's top tower is under
Love
attack.
You Love Me. Alright. Deciding against the Satanic is just going to be going for the AC. I think he's realized that the reason that he died so fast is that ET stood on top of him and took away all of his 23 armor. All of this Agi-based armor didn't do anything for him, so definitely need an AC to help counteract that. I don't even know if the butterfly is that good. His item build has... I think he's played reasonably well, other than not pressing the BKB in this mid fight, but I think the item build has left a little bit to be desired. Like, I don't think the Shadow Blade's done anything for him. He didn't buy the Silver Edge. Butterfly is like a good right-click item, but is the Butterfly better than just getting a crit this game? Like, if this was a Daedalus, would that change that much in terms of his survivability? I don't really think so. I don't know if he's really going to be standing and man-fighting anybody. But anyway, both teams just taking the time to farm up a little bit more. And actually, LFY maybe going to go for a smoke. They do have a gem. Does anybody even have a smoke? No. They're just playing together, staying safe on this high ground. Beastmaster creeps pushing out bottom a little bit. FTD, alright, they're smoked up. Running forward. Can they find something? Do they have any vision in this area? They don't. No Hawk out at the moment either. Hoping to find something on the other side as LFY are just staying right here, huddled on top of their shrine. They are a little bit split though. Afu needs to be careful if these two supports die in the back lines. That would be a big loss, and Raji's going to be the first one into the breach. scouts them out. Afu about to get first. Did they even use the roar for that? I'm not sure about that commitment. He's actually going to be able to buy back into the game. Love You Love Me uses the BKB, needs to get off the Requiem. The damage reduction affecting Super a little bit, but Love You Love Me now with no BKB might just get focused down. The Pandas are on top of him. Monet from range with the stun. They're doing everything that they can to save him, but it's just not enough. He's going to go down. Yao now does get brought down by the Mystic Flare, but FTD just have to turn tail and run. Afu buying back into this game, bringing way too much damage back in for his team. And FTD... Yeah, Shadow Fiend... I mean, Shadow Fiend being super indecisive about his item build. Now he's going to go for Daedalus. I guess he just feels like no matter what survivability item he buys, he's just going to die. So, may as well just try and get some attacks in from range. Don't feel like I've really seen the Mirana right-clicking all that much, but that could just be because there's not as many opportunities in this particular game. Now, well, if LFY win this, then they're saving themselves from tiebreakers, so we could actually end up with a no tiebreaker situation and actually just have all four of the top teams in the group be 5-2, I think would be the final result. Would be pretty interesting. That they would still be tied, but they would just break the ties via head-to-head to figure out the seeding. There's only going to be tiebreakers for elimination, basically. But yeah, this is looking pretty good for LFY if they just keep on killing the Shadow Fiend like this. He's trying... Okay, he's decided to go back for Satanic again. He's got to be talking to his team right now, like, guys, what the hell do I do? I'm just dying in fights. I feel super strong, I got a ton of net worth, but it's just not translating. I think if they'd managed to save the roar there and were able to roar like the roar the DK or roar the Leshrat, then could have been a very, very different fight, since it only takes Shadow Fiend a few right clicks to burst people down. But those few right clicks are very important. These little split-second decisions matter a lot in a game of Dota. So yeah, looks like FTD are going to be playing scared for a little bit. They're hoping for a pickoff, but I don't think LFY are going to stop holding hands for the remainder of this game. Inflame almost has his disc. Lash going to be going for Shivas. Already has some DOTs. So we're starting to see what Monet's 6-slot build is going to end up looking like. Maybe an Octarine core somewhere in here. Or a Hex. Caught Bane with the arrow, but not too much that they can really do about it. And oh, they know the bottom lane is pushing in, and LFY are going to have to back out. So what is their plan here? They head towards the pit. Roshan's going to be back up in about a minute's time. The Aegis and Cheese could be what Shadow Fiend needs to actually survive through these fights and do his job. LFY, they're smoking out. They're worried about the Roshan because they don't know whether it's respawned or not. And FTD are going to try and hold them on the high ground. Good path taken by LFY as they stick to the low ground and try and find an initiation. Super jumps into the front lines. Can't afford to have his BKB pop too early. They get the right without the BKB. The Mystic Flare bursting him down. Nice sleep save from the Bane. Super's going to be able to do at least some damage in this fight, but Love You Love Me is just right-clicking him down. They've lost a couple. Monet runs straight into the Requiem. He gets blown up, and Love You Love Me is somehow still alive. They finish them off. It's only the Brewmaster with the Primal Split. He sends the Mirana up into the air, but he's just got to run for it. Beyond's going to have the axes. Ooh, that boulder toss at the last possible second. Inflame escapes, but Love You Love Me. Ooh, he wants to go check Roche. 5 seconds, 4 seconds. Can they not go get this tier 3 bottom? Sable backdoor protection through mid and then go hit bottom? Oh, Roshan's up. Alright, a little bit of a lucky timing for them there. It's going to be Aegis and Cheese. Mirana starting to do tons of damage, picking up the Crystallis. Even has the Daedalus recipe ready to go. And just Beastmaster grabbing the Cheese. Alright, so SF with a Satanic and an Aegis should be much more difficult to kill. Super getting bursted down to a 3rd HP with no response was definitely a huge problem in that last fight. I think they're kind of talking about what happened, like, oh, should we have... Yeah, see. They're like, oh, should we have gone up this hill, or should we have done this, or, you know, maybe they should have done this. Maybe they should have come all the way around and backstab from the other side. But they probably couldn't do this because that takes way too long. And if Roshan was up and being taken, then they would have been screwed. So, it's not an easy call to make, but they split up just that little bit. Couldn't find an initiation of their own. That is part of the problem with their lineup, is that if the Dragon Knight kind of has to be the front line in that he's the one scouting, but he's also the initiation, so there isn't really anybody to scout for him, unless the ET Spirit happens to find somebody. But that thing has jack-all vision these days. Let's see. How's the other match going? Young Dumb versus IG. I guess it's still going on. We've got picks. Man, we're gonna have a three-way tie, aren't we? I'm actually supposed to. I think in that case, I'm actually supposed to cheer for LFY. No tiebreakers, please. All right. 13k lead now for FTD. Still continuing to get further ahead. Mirana doing redonkulous damage. If the SF and the Mirana can both just sit there and hit somebody, there's nobody on LFY that can stand up to that. Even the Dragon Knight with his AC in a couple of minutes is going to be looking pretty squish.
Death and gold are linked.
Do we have a gem on either side? I could have sworn. Did we have one picked up earlier? Yeah, we got gem on the Brewmaster still, but no gem on the Radiant side. I'm gonna try to get in popped.
Radiant are scanning.
They scan everybody, but all of LFY able to TP themselves out. Is this where FTD, did they start playing for runes? They got a DD on the Shadow Fiend at the moment. He's just completely clearing this out all the way at bottom. Yeah, has the Hawk down here as well. Alright, yeah, they should be able to get this bottom tier 3 and then just go for shrines. Not be too difficult. We might even be getting towards the stage of the game where the... Oh, I guess he's got the plus 1500 health, where the pandas could just get right-clicked down by FTD. And Mirana deciding against the MKB at the end of the day is just going to be going for a Lincoln Sphere. Okay. Lots of indecision. Super going to get the jump in here, but he actually gets roared in return, and he just gets blown up by the Mystic Flare. They buy him a second with the Nightmare, but that is not nearly enough. Super. I don't know why he thought he could go on that Nyx Assassin. Like, what was the plan? Who was going to follow up? Nobody else other than the Brewmaster has a blink, but he's not the big damage source. You have to be stunning people in range of your Lesh. And even if he buys back now, he doesn't have, does not have the Dragon Form available. So, yeah, FTD straight up onto the high ground. Flame jumps in, but it's straight into a Spike Carapace. Raji making the plays. He will be able to get the BKB off, but not enough mana for the Primal Split. He's been mana burned, and Flame finally gets it now on the other side of the fight. Mirana is just focusing on Monet. A couple more crits might get him that kill, but he's actually dove a little bit too deep. Gets brought down by the Fiend's Grip. Love You, Love Me trying to right-click through Yao, but he won't be brought down that easily. They buy back on the Mirana. They're trying to commit hard for this fight. They know that the Shadow Fiend still has his Aegis. Monet healing up and coming back in. The Brewmaster about to head back into his regular form as they're trying to focus on the Beastmaster. He's pretty tanky. He's got the cheese, popping it a little bit early perhaps, and Monet struggling to play against the Nyx Assassin. Raji didn't have the best early game, but he's getting the last laugh here as he is dominating this team fight. They're hiding the Shadow Fiend though, and he's not really doing any damage. Yao able to survive. They're trying to focus on the lane of Rax. Still have that Aegis. Arrows flying around. The bottom tier 3 tower gets taken out, and FTD are looking for multiple lanes, but LFY, if they can just heal up, they should be able to come back in and fight once again.
Dire's bottom barracks.
Dragon Knight ultimate still on cooldown though for 15 seconds.
Dire's
Well, the
bottom
SF's
barracks
flub at
has
mid
fallen.
lane not popping the BKB may have cost his team a lot.
Dire's top tower
Super
is
jumping
under
in the way
attack.
that he did over here. It looks like it just cost his team 2 full lanes of racks. They did at least get them, get the Mirana to buy back, but
Dire's bottom shrine has
now
fallen.
looking like a very hard game to win if you're LFY. They push reasonably fast. So one big team fight and they could potentially take 2 lanes right back the other way. Lesh almost has his level 25, so the Edict's certainly going to help out with that. But FTD going to go for the jugular, it looks like. James is a little bit light in the mana department, but one Mystic Flare could be all that it takes to close out this game. They still have the Aegis for another 20 seconds, so Love You Love Me might actually want to just man up here and take this fight. They're going to focus on the Dragon Knight. Another defensive sleep to try and save him, but he's still stunned. He gets the BKB off at the last second. They Fiend Script the Shadow Fiend. They're preventing the right-click damage. Super is actually able to go to work the Mirana. Where is she in the midst of all of this? She's actually over on the top side of the fight. Not really right-clicking. They buy back on the Bane. Yao saving this game for his team. Shadow Fiend brought down. He does have a buyback. The arrow catches onto Super, but he's still too tanky. Raji, no blink. Gonna try and make his escape. Force Staff in 1 second, but Inflame crits him down. They have to try and get down this mid lane and force out a little bit more, but unfortunately there are super creeps pushing in, so I don't even know if they're going to be able to punish the Shadow Fiend. Yao and Beyond did both buy back in that fight. So FTD actually running pretty light on core buybacks. They've only got the Shadow Fiend buyback left in reserve, which is very scary. But fortunately for them, they still have the Skywrath Mage and the Beastmaster alive, so they can still pretty much kill anybody on the map. And that threat should hopefully be enough to prevent LFY from pushing too heavily. Yeah, you can just see in the way that they're playing. They're taking bounty runes, they're grabbing another round of items, they're getting their level 25 talents. They know that they can't really just rush down the mid lane and force anything out. Just gotta focus on getting good. Does Brew have his 25? That's a pretty big deal. Yeah, minus 65 seconds primal split cooldown, so 35-second cooldown, 20-second duration, has better uptime than anything else. Alpha in big trouble. Mystic Flare gonna burst him down. Now they get the silence onto the Brewmaster. He pops his BKB, just tries to fight, but where's the backup? Yao gonna get focused down. He gets stunned up, and James is just doing so much damage on the Skywrath. Inflame realizing how dire the situation is, tries to focus him down, but they just can't do it. Coming in from the other side is Super. Mirana also looking for something here, but the Lesh has already made his escape. Super needs to get out. Blinks up onto the high ground, but Mirana will still keep on chasing. And oh, Brewmaster back out of the split. He's in so much trouble. Can he get the blink off? It's still 10 seconds to go. Super realizes that he has to just try and fight to save the Brew, but it's not going to work. And now he's trapped in a Mystic Flow. He got caught by the Spike Carapace. He couldn't get the BKB off. Raji gets the follow-up stun onto the Leshrac. He pops everything that he's got and just trots back towards the base. I don't know. Wait, why did Super even try and save him there? Why not just let Inflame have buyback? He has buyback. Super, what are you doing? You could be here fighting with your team in this crucial engagement, but instead he's just dead, watching from the sidelines. 90 seconds to go. Monet trying to find his angle. Can they focus down the Nyx? No. James is completely home, so he's just a gem carrier at the moment. But even these bonus HP pandas starting to fall to the right click. We will finally get Raji. Love You Love Me. Is he going to focus on the buildings, or is he going to focus on these kills? Monet controlling him for now. BKB gets popped. He just wants the racks. He hasn't used his mechanic just yet. Also going to pop out the Requiem. Turn, starts right-clicking. Brewmaster going to have another ultimate soon. Inflame doing everything that he can to hold onto this game for his team. They still have a Monet buyback as well. He's able to run down the Mirana, in fact. Shadow Fiend just wants Megas, and he's going to get them. Love You Love Me a bit too fast. Will not be caught by that stomp, but the Brewmaster might be able to close the gap. That Shadow Blade finally doing something for Shadow Fiend at long last. Gets him away at the last moment. And now with Mega Creeps to defend and one Tier 4 tower already lost, it looks like LFY do probably have a date with Keen Gaming for one of those last spots here in the China Qualifier group stage. I don't man, what can they do at this point? I think they could have potentially won when they still had one lane of racks left, but Super has made some... He has to play aggressively this game because he's the initiator for his team, and they really need his solid lockdown, but Some of these plays from him, I think, have been very questionable. Also interesting that Lesh has gone for, I mean, 30 movement speed versus 50 armor. He could be a little bit more tanky than he is now. But I don't think that little bit of extra survivability would let him commit much harder into the fights. There's just so much right-click damage on FTD. Yep. Raji. Spots Monet. Can you get a stun off? Love you, love me. Knowing that this is scouted, able to pop his BKB and just start right-clicking. They burst down Monet. He's going to buy back into the game, but Super is dead. Love you, love me. He's got a double damage, and he is shredding through this fight. Afu goes running forward to make sure that he gets maximum damage out of this Earth Splitter. They've killed off James. Love you, love me. Can he survive with Satanic? He won't be able to. Afu is making the plays to save the game for his team here. They still have Super dead, but they forced that Shadow Fiend buyback. Unfortunately, they do have to go and deal with all of the Mega Creeps streaming into their base, and they're running pretty light on buybacks themselves. Roshan is up. So, with all these Mega Creeps, FTD can probably just take Rosh and not get punished too hard for buying back. But LFY, they want that guaranteed spot. They want to keep on moving forward here. But I don't know if they're going to be able to do it.
Dire's courier.
Beastmaster buying a BKB. Dire Courier gets sacrificed just to scout the Rosh. Too late. Age of Shadow Fiend. Cheese and Refresher Shard on the Mirana. Do they have anybody better for that? Probably just give it to the Beastmaster once he respawns. Alright, if you're FTD, do you even try and push? Or do you just wait for some buyback? Super almost has his buyback back up, but doesn't have the money for it. Almost has level 25. Is that 40 strength? I mean, level 25 talent's going to be pretty impactful. But they are just kind of struggling to defend their base. At least they've got Lesh. Certainly very good at this kind of Mega Creep situation. But all it's going to take is one more round of pickoffs from FTD to end this game. Like a Roar landing or anything like that.
I'll put myself. Free of me!
Let's go scout Mr. Storm Panda. See what you can see. See a Shadow Fiend. See a bunch of stuff. In fact, they're charging forward. Super knows that they need some kills here. Can they focus down James first? That's a lot of damage, in fact. Super not using the BKB just yet. He does manage to get the Ghost Scepter out. James saving his own life. Raji goes jumping in with the Spike Carapace, but he just gets punched down. They still don't even have Beastmaster there. But the Mega Creeps are just shredding the tier 4 towers, and Monet is going to be forced back to defend. Now FTD are going to look for the catch of their own. Nice arrow connection. There is going to be a stun onto the Mirana. Doesn't get the BKB off quite in time. Defensive Nightmare. Afu along with the Glimmer Cape keeps him alive. The plays from the LFY supports working beautifully together. Super doesn't have too much longer on the Dragon Form, and unfortunately Monet just has to sit here as the lone defender of the Ancient. Can't be in two places at once, and it looks like that's just going to be LFY's undoing. Oh yeah, annoy the Shadow Fiend a little bit, sure. Let's go. Oh, purge that Necro Book. Hell yeah. Inflame getting some farm. The Radiance is still going to take a little bit to get, but they are still trying. What's the status on the other game? Young Dumb won? It's gonna be a 3-way tie. Are you kidding me, China? Come on. So that means, yeah, IG are 4-3. Oh lordy. All right, well, buckle in, everybody. We got tiebreakers for sure. And yeah, very likely 3-way tiebreakers, unless LFY can make some kind of insane play. Super wants a DD. He's gonna get the DD. Alpha's still alive. Super, can he chop him down? Nice force staff use from Raji. Support plays on both sides of this game have just been so on point. Dragon Knight gonna get force staffed away. Yao coming in. Monet gonna pop everything. Uses the BKB. They will bring Raji down. Arrow gets soaked up. Buyback used. Creeps pushing into the base. Monet only has just enough time to come out for the 1 kill. And then he has to go home. That smoke just gets scouted? Doesn't know. I don't know if it really matters. Like, there's only one place that they're going. They're coming straight to your high ground and they're trying to kill you inside your base. There's only one buyback on the field. And let's see how this fight goes. Aegis on the Shadow Fiends. They have given... Wait, where'd the Refresher Shard go? Did it get used? I guess it got used. Panda's dying very, very quickly. Say goodbye to the Fire Panda. LFY slowly but surely getting driven back towards their Ancient. It's the last bastion for them. Inflame gonna pop the BKB, goes running in. Radiance helping out a little bit. They get the Roar out. Nice start on the Shadow Fiend. He can't do any damage here. Monet needs to try and focus him down, but he pops the Satanic. He just heals right up. Brewmaster's dead for 125, and Murano wants to put an end to this right here, right now. Right clicks through one more. Monet doing whatever he can with his dying gasp, but the crack by the the Ancient is getting swarmed by Mega Creeps. LFY are all dead, and FTD will finally end up taking this game. I liked their draft better from the word go. It really seemed like they had a much more cohesive game plan. LFY fought back extremely well, but I think a couple of those mistakes from Super really costed them any chance that they had of winning this game. So, with that, FTD, #1 in the group, 6-1. They're locked in. Team Serenity are definitely #2 as well. They're 5-2, and now we have a 3-way tie between LFY, IG, and Keen to sort out those last 2 spots. So I'm not 100%. I think I'm the one scheduled to cover the tiebreakers. Lysander is probably also around, so one of us will be doing it. We'll figure out what's going on and let you guys know, but thank you very much for watching. Hope you are enjoying all of the TI8 Qualifier Hub action, and I will be back with some news in just a little bit.